Well, here's a picture of me. I call myself the Muddy Guru. That's me with mud all over my face. And I am a guru who has a mission. I'm on a quest to save the world. Yes, I have that save the world syndrome. And at the same time, I know that the world does not actually need saving. Why? Well, that sounds like a paradox, you say. Yes, it is. Let me explain. You see, I see myself as unreal, part of an illusion. And the greater part of the illusion that I'm in is quite ill. It isn't a very fun illusion or seeming reality right now. So thus I see myself as needing to help save the way the illusion is going thus far. The illusion, this world, and all its seeming problems. But then, on the other hand, I know that what is unreal does not really exist, so would not need to be saved, since it is not actually real. But for all purposes, it's where we live. It's where we are right now, even though it is an illusion. It's got all the five senses working in it quite fine. We have to live here. And so you might think of it like it was a virtual reality ride. And we signed up for this before we came in. But we've forgotten about our life before we came into this reality. And we don't know, for the most part, most of us don't know that we're under the spell of matter. The players of this game, called life, on this non-existent earth, in our non-existent bodies, well, we're like unto dreamers. We are dreaming, and the dream is getting quite horrific to us. It is scaring us, but we cannot seem to awake from it. Day by day, we find we're still in it. But we can become lucid dreamers. We can awaken while in the dream. While in this state we are in of seeming reality, which is really unreality and illusion, we can begin to connect with the knowledge from the real world that we can access actually through our right brain hemisphere. And maybe we can infuse into the left brain some of the magnificence of the true reality. Our seeming real version of reality needs an injection of something really quick, I think, before we manage to destroy ourselves. We are in a creating world, not a created world. A creating world which has no beginning and has no end, just like us, never ending, never beginning. And this creating world is in trouble because mainly we don't realize the nature of our reality. Not enough of us have awakened in the dream and began to intentionally create a better world through the control of our feelings and our emotions, and most of all, through our wonderful imagination. Every one of us is a creator. All of us, the good, the bad, the ugly. We are creating with our thoughts, and with our fearful thoughts, we're creating quite a lot that we don't really like. We are like a lot of kids sitting around a campfire telling scary stories. We have gotten to the place now where we are so focused on our scary stories, so much so that we believe them to be true. Also, there are many of us who have gotten quite good at making their stories so bad that we find that it has influenced the whole lot of us, and our reality, our seeming reality, is reflecting a lot of our scary stories. Much of the understanding of how the storytelling works, of how emotions create, is understood by those of the good, the bad, and the ugly, those that I would call the ugly. There are a few names for them. Some people call them the secret government or the Illuminati, such things as that. But I call them the ugly because I think they know what they do. And they do it deliberately. They manipulate others with their stories, with untruths, with imaginations designed to evoke a certain feeling from the populace of people. Now, the good are fooled by the stories made up by the ugly, and they, though being good, basically, work for the ugly because they buy into whatever fear or phobia the ugly are indoctrinating them with. And then there are the good who are of the religious sort, like the fundamentalist believers. They have mainly kept the mentalist part of their name, but left out all of the fun in fundamentalist. They have these doctrines, doomsday theories, they stubbornly hold fast to, and this is just another scary story. Their stories never empower the individual, but they have their favorite saviors who they have made idols of, and they even make movies about their ideas of what is to be. I watched one of them the other day called The Omega Code. Now, instead of telling you what all is wrong about this story, The Omega Code, I will choose now to simply keep my focus off of it, for it is not deserving of my energy being wasted on the telling of how it was in so much error. For those of us who desire to be part of the restructuring of a social reorganization, know this: we cannot focus on what is wrong. We cannot allow ourselves to become indignant, or bitter, or critical, or cynical, or full of hate, or sad, or depressed, or lazy thinkers. We must control our imagination and learn to visualize. I made up this little saying. It's a play on words. It goes like this: it is my conclusion that the profusion of confusion is due to the delusion of the illusion. Therefore, we must realize that our real eyes are when we visualize, and what we visualize, we will realize. You know, we just must not focus on the negative. Be aware of it, but do not focus on it. Especially do not focus on it with great deal of emotional energy in your thinking. When you become emotional, you are your most creative of more of what it is you're emotional about. So therefore, we can't give way to giving it too much attention. Here's an example. If I place on the blackboard the figures 2 plus 2 equals 3, and then follow that with 2 plus 2 equals 5, would you deal with the 3 and the 5 and try to establish the right answer? No. You would go right through these figures, deal with the fact that 2 plus 2 equals 4, and both these extremes would vanish. That which is less or more than the correct answer has nothing to do with the fact in principle. And it is only by bringing the fact of principle to bear upon the situation that any correct answer is possible. So why are we wasting time talking oh so much about all that is wrong? So I'm going to retell a story, a better one than the Omega Code, and it is called The Never-Ending Story. Some of you may have read this story or seen this movie. This story is about a young boy named Bastien who lives with his father, his mother having passed away. He is afraid of some big boys he encounters on his way to school each day, and they very often dump him into a big trash dumpster with garbage. One day, Bastien is running from these boys, feeling very much like a coward, and he hides inside of an old used bookstore.